strategically positioning herself to corner her mark before moving in for the kill.
This video is going to reveal some surprising names of animals that can be super deadly to humans.
And as I was shoving the stuff in there, he just came out, bam, and tagged me right on my finger.
Some even poisonous enough to kill you. I bet you don't even know some of them. Let's dive in. Number 1. Box jellyfish. If you think a jellyfish is an unbothered animal, you haven't met this savage here. This guy packs 5,000 stinging cells in its massive tentacles. Each cell has many tiny stingers that fire at a blazing speed of 36 miles per hour, turning animals into a digestive cocktail and rupturing human cells and organs. If that doesn't scare you, this will. If you so much as touch one of its 6-foot tentacles, the poison could kill you before you even reach the shore.
Be in front of the animal?
Yes.
It's going to take 2 hands.
Yes.
And it'll be a lot heavier than you think.
Right, okay.
And this animal has 15 of them. Take a look at the stats yourself. Data shows that this animal reigns terror over the Philippines, killing 30 to 40 people in a year alone. All I can say is that I'd watch out if I was in the sea and I saw the box jelly pop up in front of me. Number 2. Giant centipede. Giant critters are already a scary looking sight. Then you see this bad boy here that packs a painful poison in his body. What would you do? A giant centipede is a terrifying species that can take on a lizard and a mouse in a fair fight. But its deadly nature doesn't end there. The animal has poison glands spread out all over its body. Once it sees a threat, be it humans, the poison comes rolling out of its mouth like grenades launched in the sky.
He's just woken up. Now you can see his jaws there.
There are specialized pincers in its fangs that can transfer the poison to the prey and leave it motionless within seconds. Small prey like insects and spiders rarely stand a chance, but humans can get away with a sting. If getting stung wasn't enough of a traumatic experience, get a load of this. Pain from this centipede can last for days, making you regret even encountering. Number 3. Inland taipan snake. I bet you might not have heard about this snake. Meet the inland taipan, the most venomous snake in the world. Take the scariest snake you know, the cobra. Multiply its venom by 50 times and you'd have the venom of the inland taipan, also called the fierce snake. It has pretty tiny fangs at the front of its jaw, but the short teeth absolutely do not do justice to the horrors of the poison hidden inside.
With highly specialized receptors on her tongue, the inland taipan detects key chemicals in the air.
It is basically a cocktail of destruction, leaving the prey paralyzed, causing severe bleeding and rupturing the body from the inside out. A single bite from this snake can kill 100 human adults and 250,000 mice. It is a good thing this snake lives in the most remote areas of the world where human contact is simply not possible. Number 4. Black mamba. Unlike the inland taipan, the black mamba is pretty much a common sight for humans. It doesn't beat the king cobra in its massive size, but its venom is 5 times more deadly than the king. Want to know how bad it is? Only 2 drops of its venom can take away a human's life. But what's scary is that this amount is guaranteed to come your way if a snake bites you. You see, a baby mamba packs 2 to 3 drops in each of its fangs, but an adult black mamba packs 12 to 20 drops of venom per fang. It takes a maximum of half an hour for the poison to do its job. So if you ever get bitten, time is key, because the death rate for untreated bites has been 100% up till now. Number 5. Blue-ringed octopus. The blue-ringed octopus is a tiny animal, about 4 to 8 inches, but a thing that's no bigger than a baseball can hit a deadly home. It is believed that its poison is 1,000 times more deadly than cyanide. Only one of these animals can go against 20 humans and launch a massacre in minutes. Good thing it doesn't like humans, right? The octopus prefers to stay away from the spotlight. It only comes out to hunt its prey, and then it is gone back to its tiny hole. The only time it will attack a human is if it is provoked. The good news is that you can see when it feels threatened. Its blue spots will light up. The bad news is that you'll have very little time to run after that, because once it bites you, you've got a few minutes max to treat it. Have you ever seen one? Number 6. Bark scorpion. This glow-in-the-dark scorpion packs a deadly bite that can make you cry for hours. The bark scorpion is not bigger than 3 inches, but it is one of the most feared species in North America. This little guy can only be seen at night, and they aren't very great at climbing. But if you shed UV light over them, you can see them glowing with a light shade of yellow. That's how most people try to sniff them out, because they have a tendency to come creeping into houses. Its venom comes from the mighty stinger at the back. It might not kill you, but the pain from the sting can last for nearly 3 days. You'll also feel tingling and numbness in that area too. Sometimes the part where you get bitten might be temporarily dysfunctional. So if you see one, don't try to pick it up. Number 7. Stonefish. Meet the tricksters of the ocean, the masters of hiding, and the most venomous fish in the sea. These guys have bodies that look exactly like rocks, hence the name. But this little trait gives them a mighty edge over their prey, turning them into ambush predators. This kind of fish will lie with the rocks, waiting for the prey to come to them. So they won't go out of their way to attack you, unless, of course, they were provoked. Once they feel threatened, the 13 spines on their back lift up to release a power punch of venom, packed in 2 sacs at the base of each spine. Then, it is a long battle against pain.
It's only when the footage is slowed down that you can see the amount of venom that's delivered by one single spine.
The more venom is injected, the louder the pain will be for you. People who have been bitten by this rowdy fish claim that the sting feels like you're getting hit by a sledgehammer repeatedly for over an hour. No deaths have been reported from the sting yet. Quick treatment after the sting gets you out of a fatal mess, but will give you a long reminder of the pain in return. Number 8. Cone snail. In the list of venomous species, you'd think snails wouldn't even exist, but that's because you haven't met this bad boy here. The cone snail is a carnivorous snail that likes to munch on other fishes in the sea. The way it kills its victims is through its harpoon-like tooth that acts as a stinger. Once the venom is injected, the prey has no choice but to become a quick meal for the snail. But that's not the case for human. The most it will do is kill you, not eat you, but that's just as bad. The good thing is that only the larger cone snails can do some damage to human, but if you're stung by one, you've only got a few hours to treat it. All in all, it is best if you steer clear of the snail. Number 9. Brazilian wandering spider. Most venomous species only bring out the big guns when they feel threatened, but that's not the case with the Brazilian wandering spider. No, this creepy crawler is a savage that will stand its ground and attack you. News is that this spider alone has taken the lives of 4,000 people in a year in Brazil. But it is not just the death that scares people. It is the bizarre symptoms that come after the bite that makes the locals tremble with fear. Apparently, the spider can cause swelling, paralysis, increased blood pressure, blurred vision, and painful penile discomfort. If the bite is left untreated, the poison is lethal enough to kill you. If that's not a venomous creature, I don't know what it is. Number 10. King cobra. Meet the largest venomous snake in the world, the king cobra. Not only is its massive size threatening, but it packs a poison that can kill you. It is believed that its venom is strong enough to take down a giant elephant. So, let's not even bring humans into this conversation. But if you want to know, this snake injects about 2/10 of a fluid ounce in one bite, enough to kill 20 humans. And escape isn't easy either. Stretching up to nearly 18 feet, this snake slithers with a haughty attitude. It has a growling hiss and a sharp set of fangs ready for anyone dumb enough to go near the animal. Plus, it can swim, climb, and sprint at blazing speeds of 12 miles per hour. So, there is little chance that anyone could flee from this mighty predator. Number 11. Pufferfish. This sneaky animal has more than one trick up its sleeve. The one thing it is famous for is that it blows up like a big balloon to prevent being eaten. Some of them even have spike, but that's only the tip of the iceberg. Apart from that defensive strategy, there is one other power move that they like to pull when things go out of control, releasing the ferocious venom. It is believed that the venom of this pufferfish is 1,200 times more toxic than cyanide, but the amount that this fish injects can kill nearly 30 humans. Yet, there are a lot of countries where you will find pufferfish on the menu, but it is a risky meal to eat. If it isn't cleaned well, the person who eats the fish can get food poisoning that will ultimately lead to death. Number 12. Crown of thorns starfish. On the outside, the crowns of thorns starfish looks pretty, but this deadly beauty can wipe away populations of corals in a few hours. With 7 to 23 arms covered in pointy spines, these animals rain terror in the sea, but they are just as much of a threat to human. These spines are their primary weapon. They puncture the skin, inject venom inside, and leave a wound so brutal that it would need surgery to be healed. The people who have been stung by this starfish claim that the pain and swelling are so bad that it lasts a week at most. If that's scary, hear this. If the starfish loses an arm, it can just grow another. So, it isn't just your average predator, it is downright terrifying. Number 13. Flower urchin. This is the flower urchin, and it can fool you into thinking that it is just another plant in the sea. But boy, would you be wrong. The animal has tiny spines covering most of its body. These spines are so well hidden that you wouldn't spot them even if you swim by the animal. But it is what's inside these spines that's dangerous. a powerful venom. What these smart animals do is that they use their stingers to pierce the skin of the victim. Once it is inside and has released the poison, the stinger breaks off. That is what makes it 10 times worse, if that's even possible. If left untreated for a while, the wound is toxic enough to take the life of a human. Although no fatalities have been reported, there is a high chance that it can still happen. Number 14. Asian giant hornet. Meet the Asian giant hornet, a deadly predator and a known enemy of the human. People who have been stung by a single hornet state that it is like being stabbed by a burning hot needle. The size of this animal is part of its name, and there's a reason for that. You see, the insect's animal is not as deadly as you'd think. It is as bad as that of a honeybee's sting. But since it is much bigger than a bee, its dose of the toxin is pretty big too. To make matters worse, the hornet strikes repeatedly using its sharp stinger. Experts believe that the hornet's venom is 10 times more deadly, simply because it doesn't stop at one sting. The scary thing is that this animal is usually found in colony. If you bother one, the whole crowd will be after. As a result, you're left with a terrible wound that hurts a lot and lasts for days. But you're lucky if you get away with the wound only, because in Japan, the scenes of horror are much worse.
But the rewards to the Queen are enormous. The giant hornet warriors work through the abandoned nest, ripping out food.
Apparently, around 50 people die each year because of the giant hornet's ferocious sting. No wonder it is called the murder hornet. Number 15. Gila monster. The Gila monster is the largest lizard in the United States and one of the most venomous creatures on Earth. It packs a poison that has hundreds if not thousands of different components, almost like a deadly cocktail. But the terrifying bit is that the animal doesn't need the venom to kill its prey.
It's one of only 2 venomous lizards in the entire world. The other one being its larger cousin, the Mexican beaded lizard. And this is a widely foraging predator that searches about for the helpless young of birds and mammals. So some of its favorite foods are like baby cottontail rabbits. They'll eat quail eggs, but they probably don't eat baby quail.
It has a giant mouth that it can use to get its meal of the day. The venom comes into play when there's a threat in the game, even if it is human. The poison comes from the 2 grooves hidden in many of its teeth. The animal bites the victim and releases the venom into its body. The bite is extremely painful. Some relate the bite of the Gila monster to the bite of a rattlesnake, and I'd call that deadly. But it isn't enough to kill a human. Yeah, if you left it untreated, things might be bad. That also might have been the case of the guy who died of a Gila monster's bite back in 1993, the only fatality ever reported. Number 16. Redback spider. A female redback spider is the world's most venomous spider. Since they are native to Australia, I am not surprised. But what's more shocking is where it hides, under toilet seats. The redback spider's body is quite small, not bigger than the size of a blueberry, but it packs a poison that isn't very sweet. The bite of a spider has been known to kill humans, but the stats are not as bad. It kills 1 in every 10,000 people that it bites. The good thing is that this spider isn't aggressive. It likes to hide in small holes and under toilet seats. It will only attack if it feels threatened, but if you do get bitten,
1994 and quickly spread so that by 1996 there were probably maybe hundreds of thousands of redback spiders in Osaka. I found higher concentrations around the dock area than you normally see even in Australia.
the wound will leave 2 tiny puncture marks and a pain that's bound to last several hours. Along with the bite come other average symptoms. The best thing to do is head to the hospital and get it treated. Number 17. Red lionfish. This floating beauty is a lionfish, but its predatory nature won't allow it to be merciful on its victim. The lionfish has giant spines on its body, a warning sign to anyone who dares to come near the fish. Anybody who crosses that boundary is gifted with a punch of poison that comes from its spine. Experts believe that the venom's toxicity is similar to that of a cobra. It can leave you with uneasy symptoms for 8 hours, but sometimes they can stretch up to nearly a month. The bad part is that a part of its venomous spine may be left in the wound too, that only increases the intensity of the pain. Needless to say, you should steer clear of the fish if you find one in the sea. Number 18. Portuguese men of war. There's no doubt that the Portuguese men of war is a pretty animal, but it is a beauty with brain. This animal has many names, from something as naive as blue bottles to a deadly nickname, the floating terror. I'd call it the latter though, because of its long tentacles that stretch up to 30 feet long. But that's just an average. Sometimes these thin tendrils grow over 150 feet. Inside these tendrils, there are venomous cells that can paralyze and kill its prey. As for humans, it may not be as fatal as meeting death, but the wound itself is pretty scary in itself. itself and can cause welts on the skin. What's scary is that it is deadly even after it has died. Apparently, a dead Portuguese man of war can deliver a sting to humans after it has been washed up on the shore. Not only that, even a tendril that has found its way to the shore can poison. So, safe to say, be vigilant while you're walking on the beach. Number 19, slow loris. A surprising entry into the list of venomous species, the slow loris. Although it is small and cute, it has a deadly bite that's enough to take the life of a human, but that's rare. Most of the time, humans only suffer an anaphylactic shock. That's not the only surprise this animal brought to the table.
He uses his spindly limbs to maneuver through spindly branches. But those little dexterous hands and feet are designed for more than just plucking fruit.
For years, scientists didn't know how the venom was produced. Apparently, the venomous glands are somewhere in the animal's armpits. When it licks that part, saliva takes in the toxin that keeps all kinds of threats away from the animal, even humans. Yet some people like to keep it as a pet. Sounds about right. Number 20, saddleback caterpillar. Can you imagine a baby being more deadly than an adult? Here's the saddleback caterpillar, an animal that's bound to give you nightmares. This isn't a scene from a cartoon movie. This animated caterpillar may look cute, but is one of the most poisonous caterpillars in the world. At first glance, you can spot the two protrusions sticking out on both sides of its body. They carry tens of stingers that are packed with a deadly poison. Frankly, the caterpillar doesn't even need that many venomous spines.
It's pretty good. What the saddlebacks also are capable of, or they produce a glue-like substance on their undersides. I don't know if you can see that, but they have a glue-like substance that comes out from underneath them, and it helps anchor them to the leaves and stuff. And then they hide all their legs. As you can see, you can't really see their legs, right?
Even a small prick can cause asthma, stomach ache, and bleeding in humans. Plus, the sting is so bad that it leaves a rash on the skin for days. It is pretty hard to spot too because of its tiny size and a perfect disguise. So, it can be tough steering clear of this pesky animal if you are out in the wild. Number 21, boomslang. Here's another snake that is poisonous and deadly, the boomslang. The slender snake grows up to 6 feet long and is mainly an ambush predator. It likes to hide in the trees, waiting for prey to go by. Sometimes you might even spot it half floating in the air. That's because its upper body extends forward, motionless, giving the illusion that it is floating. But that's not the animal's only superpower. The venom it packs comes second. These snakes can open their mouths wide, up to 180 degrees, only to bite. If you're up that close, its poisonous fangs will only take a second to deliver the sting. Experts believe that the snake's poison is pretty lethal and can cause heavy bleeding. The reason for that is that the snake's toxin can stop the blood from clotting, leading to severe blood loss. A few deaths from the snake have also been reported. Well, I don't need to be told twice. Number 22, duck-billed platypus. Surprise, surprise, a mammal that's poisonous. Well, the duck-billed is one of only 3 mammals that has a poison packed in its body. This superpower is only up for grabs for the male. They have tiny stingers in their hind feet.
Legs. 2 of them are echidnas, the long-snouted variety in New Guinea, and this one the short-snouted variety which can be found throughout Australia.
That are filled with venom. The animal doesn't need it for hunting down the prey. No, it is more of a power move that the males pull out during the mating competition. It isn't enough to kill the other male, but it is powerful enough to sting human. The wound from the sting swells up, and the pain from it can last up to several weeks. Experts admit that painkillers usually become useless against the animal's sting. Not even morphine is good enough to relieve the pain. That's not all. Apparently, the hand becomes quite weak and becomes hypersensitive to pain for as long as 3 months. Yikes. Number 23, funnel web spider. The funnel web spider has a bad reputation. It can kill humans. The scary part is that it is true. The spider has the crown for being the world's deadliest spider, primarily because of its venomous fang.
Diverse behaviors, but in fact, what they do very well.
But there are downsides to being spider version 1.0. It can hardly see from its 8 eyes. Its lumbering frame isn't very fast.
The poison that pops out of these fangs is not bigger than 1/500th of the size of a water droplet, but it is still deadly. Experts believe that anyone who has been bitten by a funnel web only has 15 minutes to get it treated. A total of 13 people have died because of the spider's venom. Plus, the bad part is that this creepy critter likes to roam inside home. That makes its bites pretty accessible to humans. If you see one in the house, call an expert. Number 24. Blue-spotted stingray. We've seen the blue-ringed octopus meet its friend, the blue-spotted stingray. The blue spots on the stingray are a warning sign to stay away, because if it feels threatened, the stingray will pull out its tail like a whip and attack whatever is in front of it. The tail isn't as deadly as the spine that is on the end of it. Once the spine punctures the skin, it injects venom into the body. This poison can leave you wailing for 90 minutes straight due to pain, but it depends on where the person has been stung. If the stinger has pierced your ankle and you've left it untreated, you might be looking towards an amputation. But if you're stung in the chest or abdomen, the stinger can pierce the heart, which can be way worse. So if you see one, take its warning sign seriously. Number 25, shrew. Last on our list of venomous species and the third poisonous mammal, the shrew. This animal has a venom-packed body that's far more dangerous than that of the platypus. That's because the poison comes from a painful bite. The animal hides the venom in the grooves of its teeth. One bite and the venom is injected into the prey's body, leaving it paralyzed. Mainly, the shrew uses this venom for hunting down prey, but it can also attack humans if threatened. The pain from the bite can last for several days. That's all, folks. Which of these animals have you seen in real life? Have you ever been bitten by these pesky animals? Let us know in the comments below. Like always, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, and watch out for the next one. Goodbye.